Still just these 9 SCVs. And yeah, getting these double eBays and not even able to use them very effectively because, well, his income from minerals isn't very yeah, it's pretty poor. Well, it's okay. I mean, this could be a lot better, but yeah, it's not terrible. But not getting that armory up. He's getting one up now. There we go. But going double eBay, he could have had the armor upgrade done by now on the single eBay, both attack and so +1/+1 instead of +1/+0. But he's at 1/1 now. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say, but he didn't have to get the second eBay because he could have afforded the time to get that armor upgrade already by the time this armory went up. So let's see, his opponent getting ready to move out here. This tank position quite a bit better. This one's still pretty out there. I'd rather see this one either be all the way out here, or more in closer to these guys, because getting it out here means that you're gonna have a better sight range. You're gonna see your opponent coming, and you'll be able to shell them and even dissuade them from advancing. And putting it near these guys means that your opponent's going to be just absolutely slaughtered when he comes into the range. And this tank positioning is pretty decent with these guys, so he will be able to take out most of them. Yeah, and then just clean up everything else. Oh, did those Vikings go in? Those Vikings might have went in. But this macro kind of lacking. So one thing that LazarusWall said was that his macro, he thought that his macro was pretty good. You can't really say that when you're only macroing. So the point of macroing is, well, yeah, the point of macroing is doing it while you're doing something else that's very important. That's very, while you're say attacking or holding a contain, something like that. And this is actually, he's kind of lacking over here. So he's doing this attack right now, but he's only got these 2 barracks running. He's not getting upgrades. He's not building more siege tanks. He's not getting some medevacs or Vikings. He's not continuing production with those SCVs, and he should probably take these gases. And this SCV concentration is decent, but you probably want to get at least a few more. He's going to put down another 2 barracks now. In general, you probably just want to build another barracks simultaneously with your SCVs. You do have plenty of, well, not plenty, but you have a fair amount of SCVs and you have a decent income, so. Yeah, now he's getting those upgrades up. Now he's still producing those Marauders and getting those gases up, okay. He's going to take another base over here, and so this is actually kind of common in the lower ranks, but just taking this random base instead of something that's much more easily protected, say this base or even this gold. So he probably could have taken this gold. He just had to move these guys up a little bit more over here. He could have moved his tank line up a little bit more over here, probably get some over here as well. Although he is relatively light in tanks, and this turret placement is going to be pretty good. This one should be a little bit more forward, and he's going to build a few over here, and one of them is unnecessary, but yeah, it's pretty decent. But look at how many are queued up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turrets. So that's 500 minerals that he's not spending on troops. Let's see, getting reactor over here. This barracks almost done as well. And the siege tank count really light. So I guess I should probably talk about why siege tanks are so important, and yeah, I guess I'll do that. So siege tanks are probably one of the best units in the game. I can't really think of any unit that's got like so many applications in just about every matchup, especially the siege tank. Maybe like the Zergling, but they're not cost effective. Nowhere near as cost effective as the siege tank. So siege tanks, as you know, they've got this great siege mode, and it does a ton of damage and has an incredible range, and the weapon speed, it's decently fast. I mean, it feels a lot faster than it was in Brood War, at least to me. But so these guys are important because they can kill your opponent's army before they can kill yours. That's very important because it just ups your unit efficiency, makes it so you don't have to spend as much on your army. and they're just overall very, very powerful. They're pretty hardy as well. So siege tanks, they're the basis in TVT, siege tanks and Vikings, that is, because there's no real unit that can stand up to them, at least on the ground. And in the air, you should be going for mass Vikings. He's got a few over here. He's going to get another few. Got this base up, and yeah, another very turret heavy. I think this placement actually screws up your mining with these guys a little bit. He's got a few medevacs out, and again, he's being so idle with these guys, with this army. He's not doing anything, he's just letting his opponent get up this army. Let's see, it's 109 supply to 106, and again, he's pretty supply depot heavy. He's got a lot of supply depots on that he doesn't need. He's got an extra 35 supply right now. Pretty expensive investment just to, well, there's no return on that for a while. And again, super siege tank light. He's got a decent marine force, a decent marauder force, but this is another reason why the siege tanks are so good. Siege tanks do enormous amounts of damage to those marines, and the marauders are a little bit hardier, yeah, but when you have enough siege tanks, it's not really going to matter how many marauders that you're up against. And let's see, Vikings are very good with siege tanks. They can spot for them. They have that great air range. They have pretty nice attack, and they're not too expensive, so it's pretty nice. He's continuing with these upgrades with this M&M and ball, but he's not really doing much with it, and he hasn't been very effective with these guys. So I mean, the most effective he's been with the Marines, the Marauders, and the Medevacs is that one drop that killed a turret, and like the maybe 10 SCVs the 10 Marines that he killed. He did defend that push well, but siege tanks probably could have done that better. So M&M, it's okay for early defense, but you generally want to be going that 1-1-1 build in TVT. Just try to get your production facilities, your tech up pretty quickly, and most importantly, get your siege tanks up and just continue to produce them as much as possible, because they really are the backbone between for every Terran army. He's going to stand in here, and so he doesn't really know what he's going into. I'm pretty sure. Let's actually rewind a little bit. Oops, there we go. Yeah, he doesn't know what he's going into right here. So, you know, something just that's good to do before you just charge in randomly. Scout this, see what he's got. He's actually going to take a lot of losses here. And yeah, he didn't really get too much done at all. He just threw his army against his opponents and lost. So what could he done to prevent this? Again, siege tanks, more siege tanks in this army would have been nice. Scouting this out, either by sending, say, a single Marine, or maybe probably 2 Marines, one to take the tank fire, one to see in the actual army. And yeah, so scanning or sending a few Marines just to see what you're up against, instead of just moving your entire army and losing it very, very quickly. It's going very Marine heavy for some reason. I'm not sure why. All the big damage dealers are mech, so Marauders are generally a better idea in that situation. By the way, Planetary Fortress over here makes sense because he's taking a base that's kind of off-kilter, that's pretty far out. So that's fine. This one still, I would have preferred. Yeah, it has 19 kills, but still, those siege tanks could have had those 19 kills. He's getting another 2 factories, but this is a result of his inefficient use of the factory that he's had. So we could probably have quadrupled the amount of siege tanks. His opponent going to move in. He'll defend this off pretty fine. Yeah, no strike cannons on these Thors, so unfortunately they're not going to get anything done. His opponent actually going from Banshees now. Banshees are pretty terrible in TVT if your opponent... Well, because most of the time your opponent's going to have these Vikings, and Vikings destroy Banshees very easily. A drop coming in here. Okay. So his opponent's got a nice perimeter of tanks. He scanned this, so he's gonna see all these turrets, which means okay, he's gonna retreat. That's good. There's no real good place to drop. I mean, like here, but that's not gonna get much done. This is also a bad idea. Running into turrets with pretty much anything. There are very few units that can confidently run into multiple turrets. It was just the one turret, sure, sending a small force, but he lost 2.5 Vikings just moving in here. Now he's gonna lose the rest. And he killed one turret. Almost 2, but still. These factories need tech labs, not machine shops. Wrong game. Armor 2. So this is for the medevacs, but it's not really gonna matter for against turrets. His opponent is gonna be able to almost take out this base, but those turrets actually do a pretty nice job. But this is still in TVT doing all these turrets. So unless you know your opponent has heavy air, then most of the time it's going to be a bad idea because your opponent's just going to move in here with tanks. And then, say, 2 tanks, or maybe even like 2 tanks and some Marines could easily siege this down and then take out all the SCVs, no problem.